Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Wittduring, and the purpose of today's video is to talk about waves and windows. What are they? What do they mean? And what should I do about them? So, waves and windows is the colloquial expression within the benzodiazepine protracted withdrawal community for the clinical course of the illness. So, benzodiazepine protracted withdrawal it's a neurological injury as I see it, typically caused by abrupt discontinuation of a benzodiazepine or a dose drop. Sometimes it can emerge on its own while you're on the medication, but typically precipitated by one of these drops. At that point, you kind of have a neurological injury. And I've made a video on what I think the cause is, but briefly, after you're on a benzodiazepine for a long period of time, there are adaptations in your brain to compensate for that external pharmacological pressure. And there's something about stopping that medication that just disrupts things. Maybe it leads to overexcitation in the brain, and that a byproduct of that is some kind of neurotoxicity. It's pure speculation. That's at least what I suspect is going on. So back to the waves and the windows. So a wave is a rush of worsening symptoms. So these can be, oftentimes it's pain, oftentimes it's intense dark anxiety. It can be a worsening of ear ringing or cognitive problems. And then they are followed by windows, and these are periods where maybe all of the symptoms are gone or they're significantly less and people feel a lot more functional. Typically, the recovery course for protracted withdrawal is one that takes many, many months and sometimes several years. And what it's characterized by are these waves and windows. And what we see over time as people improve is that the windows, the periods of time where they're having less symptoms, enlarge and the waves shorten. So right when you've developed a benzodiazepine injury, maybe within the first year or so, you may find that you are in like a wave for several months, and then you get a day, 2 days, 3 days of a window. It's really small. As you continue to move through your withdrawal process and recover, that period of those windows get larger and larger, and the waves get shorter. And another thing, we often see in our practice, people will attribute the wave to being too aggressive with their taper. It's typically not the case because the tapers people are doing are so small. They're tweaking like a percentage or so, 1%, 2%, something like that. And so waves, I usually don't think they're triggered in a lot of people by the rate of taper. I think there's something that just happens kind of independently in the background because of the neurological injury. And that's why oftentimes like people will finish their benzodiazepine taper and then they will continue to have waves for maybe a year or two after that, where it's been 6 months later and out of the blue they'll have a wave of symptoms. That's just the neurological injury still kind of flaring up in the background and improving. So that's my download on waves and windows. Please let me know if I missed anything. Please let me know what you think about my perspective. I would love to hear other people's views on this. If you have any questions about this, I'd love to hear them in the comments. So thanks for your attention.